Hi everyone, my name's Olympia Bukkakis. So, first of all, thanks for watching. A lot of you have been asking me for all different kinds of tutorials, and I just want to say thank you for following me. And if you like this video and you want to see more, then please hit the subscribe button down below. So, in my other shows, I've been showing you how to look really pretty and glamorous, because who doesn't want to look pretty, right? But recently, I've had some requests from queens who've been complaining that no matter how pretty they look, they still get straight guys coming up to them and asking for a high five. Then if they're refused, the guy gets all upset and they're made to feel like an asshole. But never fear guys, this is a totally fixable problem. So today I'm going to show you all how to look great without having to high five straight men. Ready? Let's go. So we start with a TV paint stick foundation that is the right color from your skin. A usual base will have 3 different colors. So you have your base color and your highlight and your contour. You take your base color and then you apply that all over the face. But because we're going for a pretty look, but that's going to mean that you don't have to high five straight men, we're going to take actually the highlight and we'll use that as the base color. Like that. And this is a beauty blender. We use that to blend that in. You can see this covers all of the blemishes on the skin, but at the same time, it's kind of off. It's not like what your actual color would be. Voila. Then you take your translucent powder. I use Kryolan translucent powder. And you use that to set the grease-based foundation that you've just used all over your face. The general idea with powder is that you get it on your face and then you blend it. There we go. That's our foundation. And now contour. I would usually apply my highlight then, but we've actually already used the highlight up to use the base, so we can't do a highlight, but that's all right. So we take a brush, like a foundation brush. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it works. And then you apply that in the hollows of your cheeks. And then we blend that up a bit with the brush. It's not so important to do that with the brush. This is because a typically feminine face will have higher cheekbones and bigger shadows underneath those cheekbones. And so if we put a darker color underneath, then that creates an artificial shadow, and that will help feminize the face. Then we can blend that up with the Beauty Blender. Then we also make the nose a little narrower. Put this on either side. And a bit at the end too. And then we blend it down the sides with the brush. We also do the same up here. And then we fill that in on the sides. And then a bit over the top as well, but mostly in here. That'll do. Make it even. Nice. Usually also people apply the contour color underneath on the jawline to soften the jawline, because a typically feminine jawline is softer than a typically masculine jawline. I already have a typically feminine jawline, so I kind of just leave it. I even accentuate it a bit to make it a bit harder so that it's visible on stage. After you use the grease paint, you move on to a powder. This is a powder contour from Kryolan, and this is a large angle brush from MAC. So get it on, and then blend it in the lid, and then just press it on there. And on the other side. This will set the powder, but also enhance the color. And then we blend that out in circles. And we can also go back and forward as well. This is what really changes the shape of the cheekbone. And up here as well. Then, as I said, I'll go and apply it under the jaw. There we go. You can see I've kind of changed the shape of my face. I've feminized it and I've made it look kind of pretty, which is always fun. But this does potentially mean that I'm more vulnerable currently to a guy coming in and swooping in with a high five. So don't stress, there are more tricks that we've got in our bag. This is a matte color, what is it called? Beauty Marked Velvet. And I can take this brush and we can make these cheekbone shadows just a little bit less approachable just by putting in a little bit of dark in the bottom. And then we can blend that in just so he's not entirely sure what that's from. Is it dirt from the grave? So we've still got that shadow and it's still feminizing the face. It still looks great, but it's kind of encouraging a guy to sort of like think first before he comes over, and that's really the goal. We can also add that up here as well. I've gone a bit out of the lines there, but I think that's all right. It's kind of uneven, but you get actually like quite a nice picture of like a nice bone structure. Ta-da! This is my MAC blush in the color of, I'm not sure, I've had it since 2009, so the color's not there, the name's not on it anymore. But blush is what gives sort of like a bit of warmth and life and health to the cheeks, so you would take that with this brush, or you could use a different one, kind of like this. I tend to use this one for everything. And you like dab that on and apply that to the cheeks. But as I said, that gives warmth and life to a face. That is probably going to get a straight guy coming over and giving you a high five the quickest out of anything. It's next to smiling in terms of high five danger. So actually we'll be leaving this to the side, but it will be coming back, so don't stress. Next up, the eyes. Eyeshadow is a wonderful opportunity to bring out the shape of your eyes and is really the secret to a properly striking look. It's also another opportunity to make people leave you alone. A traditional eye that I would usually do is a smoky eye. That's where you take a lighter color, where you apply that on the brow bone and on the eyelid and on the inside of the eye. And then you get a darker color and you go inside on the crease. And so it graduates like light, dark, light, and then you blend them all together and it gives the eye this sort of smoky look. A lot of women will use this. It's a typically attractive look. So again, it's something that we need to tweak, but it is something that we can still kind of use. Well, first of all, actually, we take this eye primer. This helps the color stay on the eyelid, and it's really effective. So apply that on there, and also I pat a little bit underneath because we're going to be going pretty low underneath the eye as well, like that. Because it's kind of like a smudgy look, I'm going to be taking my biggest eyeshadow brush. It's quite broad and quite fluffy, which means that it's good for blending. This is a yellow, kind of difficult to see in the light. It's kind of like just a really simple yellow, and I'm using that as my highlight. But I'm also doing it with a twist, because a yellow, while it's a nice sort of like vibrant sort of color, is also the color that appears at the edges of bruises. So this will give my eyes this sort of look like they're filled with the rotting blood at the edge of a bruise. Which sounds a lot harsher than it is. I'm going for like a bit of a discoloration at the end of the bruise. I'm not even sure if that's blood. Maybe it's just a bit of damaged skin. Same thing on this side. Then, generally the way that it works with eyeshadow is the more colors that you put in, even if they're similar colors, similar to each other, the more depth, the more depth that look is going to have. This is not actually a similar color, but if I was going for a drag look where I was going to get lots of high fives, then I would use a similar color. This is what I'm going to use instead. So this is the blush. I'll just put that on the inside of where I've put this. Not quite in the crease, but just on the edges. And then we just connect that. See the red kind of like graduates into the yellow. I have no idea why you have to open your mouth when you touch your eyes, but it helps. So this is already bringing out my eyes. Then we take a blue. This is our dark color. This is the crease color that is going to go in between our light colors here and here. Just following the natural crease and then going a bit outside of it. And also underneath. And this is where you really want to bring it down. And this is unfortunately where we're going to depart from the smoky eye. So we're borrowing from the smoky eye, but this part here is still looking a bit too cheerful. As we've established, cheerful equals high five. So we're going to actually just entirely go over that with this blue to go for a more convincing bruised look. Although see that yellow, it does actually look, it looks quite unhealthy. So it is still helpful. So we haven't totally forsaken what is it called? I just said it. Smoky eye. Anywhere where that's not looking like a bruise, you just want to blend those colors together like that. Gorgeous. Here you can see I've got what looks like 2 bruises for eyes. This is going to make a straight guy who's really into high fives a little bit more sort of uncomfortable. It's going to make him question what he's doing before he comes over and gives you a high five. But you can see that it's still like having the dark colors around my eyes. It still looks quite pretty. So it's not like I've totally given up the idea of looking great. In fact, I've gone for both. You really can have it all, as they say. moving on. The lips. So a lot of drag queens like to go outside the lines of their mouth with a lip liner to make a big luscious mouth. Those are drag queens who don't have my mouth. For a big luscious mouth, I just go in the lines I already have. A typical drag lip, or like a typical drag lip, just a typical lip I guess, you take two colours that kind of match. This is Ruby Woo from MAC. It's a very common and popular lipstick colour. This is, I've had for so long, but I don't know the name of it, but it's the matching shade you can see there. So you go around the outside with the lip liner, and then you fill that in with the lipstick. You have like a nice sort of like a nice big raw warm red mouth, which looks really nice on my face. As I've said before, with every step, we are accommodating our desire to look beautiful and our need to not high five straight guys. So unfortunately, I can't use both of these on my mouse, but I will be able to come back to this one later, so never fear. A compromise is you can take your black eyeliner from like a black eyeliner pencil, your black eyeliner from Kryolan, and you can actually use that as your lip liner. This one, however, needs a bit of a sharpen. So we take this and we apply that around the mouth. You kind of even that up and make the line a bit thicker. Then you take your lipstick and you fill in the middle. Then to blend them, I think it's enough to just do this. Then you can add more black where it's needed or more red where it's needed. There we go. So that's a nice, tasty red mouth, but it's also got that sort of like, this sort of like funereal look that we're going for with the rest of the face. Now, those of you who are feeling really anxious about the return of the red lip liner, your end waiting time has come. And this one we apply on the waterline, which is the part on the inside of the eye. You would normally apply a black or something like that, or if you wanted to sort of like for a really sort of like sultry or seductive look, or you could put a white for a more sort of like innocent look, which will make your eyes look a bit bigger. Or if you're trying to get people to just like take a minute and like a step back, you can also apply a red one. You can also just add some smudges there to make it look a bit more drastic. So that's quite disconcerting, but at the same time does look great. Tops of the eyes. This is a small angle brush from Kryolan, and this is a gel eyeliner from Kryolan. And we're just gonna add some black on the top. There we go. Then we add this mascara. This mascara is the one that like all girls had in the 90s. It turns out that's because it's a really good mascara. I also just noticed that I haven't actually filled in my nose contour with a powder, which is why it's just still looking sort of like flat in this light. So we take this same brush that we've used for the eyeshadow, and then we take the contour powder and we apply it there, and then blend it down. Same principle as the cream. There we go. Next you would apply eyelashes. You'd also fill in your eyebrows, but I think like once we've got the contouring and we've got some really striking features on the face, they don't really need any help. I think my lips and my eyes are really working together quite well. I think I'm kind of done. Usually you would also add some eyelashes. If you're wearing eyelashes with this look, then let your motivating word be aggression. Just fuck with them in some way so that you can still get that sort of like fluttery, sort of like, oh, look, but like, you know, say something else with it as well. Moving on to the last step of the tutorial. Now all this is great. I look gorgeous and I feel great, and a lot of straight guys would think twice before swooping in for a high five. But avoiding a high five isn't just about finding ways to look good to the good guys and bad to the bad guys. It's about finding ways to avoid any stray high fives that get thrown your way without arousing their self-righteous anger. This can be a delicate situation because if you refuse that high five, then he could look stupid in front of his friends, and so he's going to get really angry and he's going to be getting in your face and saying like, who the fuck do you think you are? You fucking cunt, I'll fuck you up. All of this sort of really mediocre nastiness. You can actually use costumes and props to sort of like defuse this situation. So what I really like to do is I take a simple bit of, and it's cheap too, a simple bit of medical bandage, and you apply this to the eyes. And then you just tie that so it's going to stay, but not so tight that it hurts your eyes. It will irritate your eyes, but for what we're doing, it kind of alleviates a greater irritation. So in this way, if you're in a nightclub, some wasted guy comes up for a high five, you can conceivably deny that you have noticed this request for a high five. And so he comes in for a high five, and you, the blind seer, can just turn away. You want to see that again? Straight men will just assume that you haven't seen their high five attempt and that you're not ignoring them. So you can get away scot-free and enjoy the fact that you look gorgeous while having people respect your private space. Enjoy! So thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, then please click the subscribe button down below. And if you have any requests for beauty tips, then please send me a message. I reply to all of them. Thanks again. Love you. Bye.